Yes, people, and welcome back to Normski TV and the What's Going On podcast. I can see Junior's in there first. Hello, Junior. How you doing, brother? I hope you're keeping well. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and share if you're new. Hopefully, we can try and get to this 300. This elusive 300. But listen, we keep going. But good to have you on the show, Junior. And just to say, we have a lot to talk about this evening, but we want to try and fire through it as quick as possible. So I know we all have busy lives and everything. So let's fire away. So listen, without further ado, I ain't going to talk too much. I'm just going to get the guest on. First of all, let's get on Mr. Big D and Mr. JP. Hopefully we'll see Ez, and hopefully we will see Coldfield's coming on a bit later. I haven't heard anything from Chile. I don't remember seeing him out in the cotton fields today, so we'll see what's going on there. Big up to Giza. What you saying, brother? A lot to talk about. Our transfer window, mate. It's a bit frustrating, guys. It's a bit frustrating. But listen, we need to delve into it. The transfer window opens up in 7 days' time, and we're going to see how we do our business and whether it's going to be a frustrating summer, or are we going to really pull our fingers out and start doing some real serious business. We see Liverpool. They ain't wasting any time doing a deal with McAllister, and we'll go into that in a little bit more depth. But listen, before I go into the show, let's just go around the table quickly. First of all, go to Mr. Big D, and just to say, how you doing? How was your week?
The week's been fine, man. I did take upon myself to send me. I go do a little gardening in it, and my back just feels mashed up, boy. I hate gardening with a passion, you know what I mean? That used to be my dad, innit? Used to be my pops, right? If I come up pops and say, "Pops, come and check the garden," man just go through that like a steamroller and it done, innit? But he loves all that. He's a countryman, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grew up on a farm and thing, so when I come in and jump in the shower, I just fell asleep. That's how much I was. Both gardens.
You don't want to see.
Not even touch the trees yet, because the trees are never seen. And I was like, nah, man, this ain't for me. Yes, Tom. Yes.
Yeah. You don't want to see our garden, mate. I'll tell you.
And then work was. I worked this morning and working tonight, innit? So work was a struggle.
We got some breaking news. This is from Craig, Arsenal Forever. Breaking news: Edu's negotiating with barbecue. They'll be in queue for a new barbecue. So just and unfortunately, this is how our club is moving. You know what I mean? The man is out there supposed to be. Listen, I know everybody needs to get a break and everything, but man, how is it that other clubs are doing the business? I know Big D, before you came on, you're saying that there's a lot of stuff going off on Twitter, people doing their business, and we're just dragging our heels, and it's just a absolute joke. And I just don't get it. We're just notorious for doing this. I know Man United, when he was going after De Jong, mate, the saga last season, is it going to be another repeat again this season? Do you know what I mean? And not only that,
we can't have that. No, we can't have that this season.
Yeah. Trying to get rid of players as well. On top of that, it's going to make it even more difficult. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, Junior said, I feel Kane will definitely leave for Parsons Green. Yeah, I mean, that's you're not convinced. Not convinced.
Nah, okay, not convinced.
We will.
Not convinced.
We will talk about that. Yeah, man. Yeah. We will talk about that. But where? That's the big question. Where? Junior must be reading my script, but yeah. We do need a striker, Giza. We do definitely need a striker, but is whether Arteta sees that as his priority. We're looking to bolster the midfield. If you look at how many goals we scored last season, 88 goals, and most of those came from our front attacking midfielders. So you might look at that and think, well, no, we don't. But the way I look at it is, listen, we've moved up to the next level. We're back into Champions League. If Jesus gets injured, you've got Eddie Nketiah to bring in. Now, a lot of people are saying, when Jesus got injured during the World Cup, Eddie Nketiah came in. But listen, he scored 5 goals. And that was it. Yeah. For me, that's not enough. You know what I mean? I keep saying it. I keep banging on. Yeah. The players that we need to bring in, we can't afford to be dropping off. So if somebody is out injured, I don't want to see that drop off. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, you know, Jesus is not known for his goal scoring prowess or nothing like that. Because you look, Saka 15 goals or 16, I can't remember. Martinelli 15 goals. I think Martinelli's actually got the highest goals. I think he's got 16, and then Saka and Odegaard have got 15 goals, and then the rest of the goals shared with I think Granit getting 7, which is quite a good return. And his only best return for Arsenal in an Arsenal shirt in the 7 years that he's spent with us, or 6 years, or whatever it is.
Yep.
So, I definitely think we need a striker, but it's whether Arteta will go down that road and get that. Listen, I absolutely agree with you, Craig. But, mate, you're talking 30 million euros, something like that.
Yeah.
Big money. Exactly. I know Man United definitely need a striker. Listen, if we want to catch up to these guys, Man City, we're gonna have to dig deep. That's all I can say. We're gonna have to dig deep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But Kane, you have to look at it, Norman, in that City just activated a clause for Haaland. What was it? 45, 50 mil. You know what I'm saying?
50 mil or something. Yeah.
Right. So 50 mil, and then either us or you expected to spend 140 million euros on Usher, man. It kind of has to scratch your head a little bit.
It does. I mean, look, I think like, you see, but if you look at Haaland, what kind of wages he's on, and you know, if you're not to sell Haaland now, mate, you're looking at 200 million easy.
Yeah, I mean, what's he on? What,
you know what I mean?
12, 15 million a season.
Who's that?
Like that? Haaland.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know exactly,
it's about 12. But I think it's between 12 and 15 million a season. In wages.
Yeah. So you know, what I mean, so even though yes, they've activated his 57, I think it was 57 million. I think that was
something like that.
Yeah. I think that's what his buyout clause is. But listen, you know, his dad obviously used to play for Man City, and the thing about Man City, they always do their business early. You know, I mean, they start up everything from time.
Exactly.
And Liverpool.
And Liverpool. Yes. So these guys are on pre-season training, and so in theory, you're not supposed to miss a beat. Come August, come kickoff, you've been away, you've gelled, you got some players that you had to hang out with and share a room with or whatever. You know what I mean?
And that is the thing is, and that is the worry for me, because you know every time I'm reading, I think between us we must have linked about 40 players. You know what I mean? You know, it's a crazy thing. Our Ezra just takes to say he won't be on today, so we can ruin his team. So we have to be serious in this window. This is probably one of our biggest and most important window, and I suppose it's going to be the same for you guys as well. About how you go about doing your business. So I'm just gonna before I actually do go on to the agenda, I've got to go to Jason because I didn't ask him how he was doing, but he's looking kind of happy. So Jason, how you doing?
I'm all right, you know. Do you know? I'm all right. I did promise myself this week that I was going to take my eye off, like worrying about the takeover and all that stuff. I can't help it. I keep sending Big D stuff because I can't help it.
I appreciate that, keeping me in the loop, man. Because my lord.
Oh yeah, well the fifth bid has gone in. You know what I mean?
You know the good thing is with that fifth bid, right? He's actually told them Friday I'm walking away, and I hope he does. Come Friday, if they ain't back on the front trim saying, brother, make this thing happen, he needs to dip and go buy somebody else. And then they're in the mud then, because Sir Jim, like I said to Jason, he's a Poundland billionaire. Now that's a joke to him because he's a billionaire, right? But it's a Poundland thing he's on. Because what he's saying is he can just about afford 50% of us, and he can't clear the debt. What's the point of that? Why would you say that to him?
Big D, how many of us, right? Oh, how many of you guys? On paper, you could be millionaires. You live in London. The price of your property compared to what you paid for it, plus any other little assets you got. On paper, you could be a millionaire.
Right.
But you're just about living. You're just about living. I went to Tesco's, right? They charged me £2.05 for a pack of bagels.
Right, exactly.
I couldn't believe it.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's absolutely crazy, right? And I mean, I know. I think it was it you, Jason, that put out that thing about the value of the clubs? Was it you that said that?
Yeah.
You know,
that's a joke.
Say that Man City, Man City, the rated as the highest, most valuable branded club in the world above Real Madrid. And I was trying to figure out. We was trying to figure out amongst ourselves how was that in terms of what was it, assets and stuff like that. But I kind of looked into it a little bit and. You know, the City Group, who own, you know, like the business side of it, they own like 14 clubs around the world. Yeah,
I heard that,
the assets that they got in around the stadium and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I was looking at
but that's on the owners then. If they said the owners are the most, but not the club.
How does that put
well, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so it's
why does that put the New York club? They own the New York club. Why don't they put them at the top of the list? Why is it put City at the top of the list?
It's
all right. Okay. So we're looking at semantics here. Yeah. Is that
for real.
No, I'm saying it's all fabricated. It's all fabricated.
Yeah, it is.
And it's. Listen. Congratulations to Man City. Yeah, they're about to embark on a treble here, and. But it's this media lovey-dovey thing now that's going on now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they've just gone overboard, literally overboard. And to say that, you know, Man City now, because I'm thinking, how? Do you know what I mean? This club.
But no, like the company I work for is called Secure Solutions Limited, PLC Limited, UK, right? They are a division of Group 4. When I went on the website, Group 4 must have about close to 50 or not 60 companies like the one I'm working for. So I can say, yeah, man, my company is the richest company in the world, but Group 4 is one of the richest companies in the world because all their umbrellas. Yeah. When if you sold them all off, you'd be like, yo, that's money. So it's what.
So it's not actually Man City Football Club.
Yeah.
It's the City Group.
The City Group, right? Exactly.
Why is it? Why is the press marketed as this? Why?
That's what I'm trying to say. How's Man City get there?
Yeah, it looks good. Sky Sports love all that. The hype thing. It's lazy journalism. That's what it is.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I mean, one I think it was like 1.29? Was it 1.29 billion? 1.3 billion?
Something like that. Yeah,
something like that. You know. But then I was looking at the City Group's assets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And this was at 2020. It was like 1.53 billion they were worth. That was back in 2020. Do you know what I mean? And they were listing all the clubs.
Yeah.
That they own and stuff like that.
But if you look at it, if you look at it.
Sorry, guys. I'm going to drop off and come back, right? My electrician was supposed to be here from ages. He just turned up.
All right,
I'll
pop back in a minute.
Yeah.
Cool. That's all right, bro. But no, if you look at it, on the club, our club on the New York Stock Exchange, they said it's worth 3.5 billion.
Right.
If these guys go and pay 6 billion for it, is the club now worth 6 billion? No, it's not. They just paid 6 billion for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it's false accounting. It's like they want it so badly that they're going to get as close to the 6. Whether it's 5.8, 5.7, whatever they're going to offer and say, right, Friday is your deal. But on the stock exchange, currently now, it's worth 3.5 billion, which is realistic. So if they got 4 billion for it, that's still 4 billion they never had because they only invested 250 million in it, and the rest was on debt, which they're not going to clear, which is going to clear. So it's all false accounting, isn't it? Just to make us read something and go, oh wow, City at the top, oh wow, Madrid at the top. But then when you peel it back, you're like, are they really?
Yeah.
Or is it the people that the external that owns them with all the other bits and bobs of business?
Well, that's how I'm looking at it because you know, Man City is not known as a City Group. It's Man City Football Club.
Exactly.
But as I said, they have worded it as Man City is the richest, you know, branded club in the world. Do you know what I mean? But
because I'm sure there's somewhere in that rule where they can't change it to City Group Football Club.
No,
otherwise they would have done it. No, they would have done it.
Yeah.
I mean, they can rename the stadium. You know what I mean? Because that's happened a lot of times.
Yeah, and you get the sponsors and stuff like that.
Yeah. To change the team name to City Group FC, everyone be like, whoa, what are you doing? You can't be doing that. It's Man City.
Yeah.
So,
No, I hear you. No, I hear what you're saying there. Definitely hear what you're saying there.
Yeah.
But I mean, what we've got to get through tonight, I mean, talking about Citeh, FA Cup, and one of the things is FA Cup final review. Citeh looking at a clean sweep. Harry Kane, should he stick or twist? Well, looking to deal some good cards. Spurs' new boss, does he play a nice brand of football, or will they be competing for honours? And the other one is Man U and Arsenal need to stop procrastinating when it comes to the window. And the pool on the verge of their first signing, obviously McAllister. And we was going to look into the VAR review on what's going on table before we make our final decision. But Ez is not here, and I know he wanted to do a little review on that. So we're going to leave that one out and probably leave that for next week if he's definitely on the show. So we'll leave that one out. But yeah, let's first of all kick off with the FA Cup final, which was played on Saturday. First Man City or Manchester derby final
in history, right? In history, isn't it?
Yeah, in history.
Or has it happened? It never happened.
I don't think it's happened. If somebody could correct me in the chat. Not only that, one of the quickest goals. And the thing about it, I was at work at the time, so I was listening to it on the radio, and I saw your text and your little eyes come through. And I'm thinking, why is he texting?
Literally texting. It's like he literally sat down, right, cup of tea and some sweet biscuit, and they scored. I was like, and then my sister-in-law just texted me and said, OMG. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. The game just kicked off. It was literally 3 moves and a goal, Norman.
Literally, like I think they worked it out that it took something like 13 seconds.
Yeah, it was literally
kick off and the move,
header, shot, or something like that.
You know the mad thing about that, D. After the game, Gundogan spoke about it and said that was the plan. That was the plan, and this is what I'm saying about Pep and in terms of his coaching and tactics.
Yeah, just catch them cold.
Caught them cold. They said that the plan was the ball to be played back to the goalkeeper for him to play it long for because they knew that my man was going to win the header, and the ball literally he headed it. I think he headed it onto De Bruyne, and I think De Bruyne laid it off to Gundogan.
Yeah,
and next thing you know, it was in the back of the net, and it was a very good goal at that. Do you know what I mean? And,
but you know,
it wasn't like it was fluke. And when I watched it back, and how Gundogan described it, I thought he's actually right. This was planned.
But if you look at and I don't want to single out one person, but if you look at the goalkeeping, Norm, how many times this season have I seen this guy do these TV saves? And the one time I didn't do a TV save, he just stands there and watches it. He didn't even. Goal. And the thing is, I think Roy Keane said it. He said, "How is the goalkeeper of that statue at the beginning of the game on his heels and not on his toes?"
You might have a point there, yeah. Actually, he might debate. I think he has got the quickest, yeah. But it was one of the. I think they said it as it was one of the quickest goals. But 13. This one was 13 seconds. If somebody can find out who has to kick it, if it is Demotel, but I know definitely Gundogan.
So Demotel for Chelsea. Was that Chelsea? Was it? Yeah. But for me right now, there's just no excuse for that. There isn't.
No.
As professionals, right? Like you've warmed up, you've done all your whatever, and you get on the pitch and concede in a cup final in under 20 seconds. Come on, man.
It's almost like your tactics are out the window. You know what I mean? So whatever Ten Hag would have said to them at the start, like let's keep it tight, work our way into the game. Do you know what I mean? Blah blah blah. Because we know that Man City are going to have most of the ball, possession of the ball, and literally, I just said, it's like 13 seconds later, it changes everything now. Do you know what I mean?
The other thing, Norm, and you'll know this as fact. Like back in the day, the goalkeepers, when facing the sun, always wore baseball caps.
He didn't have one on.
Right. So it's like, bro, you came out and the sun is in your eyes. Come on, man. It's common sense, isn't it? It's real amateurish for me. Because I remember even as school kids, like when we were playing in the summer, our goalkeeper would always wear a baseball cap when we were playing with the sun in our face.
Yeah.
This guy on 375k a week didn't bring out his baseball cap. I'm not in for it, no. I'm not, man.
I mean, listen. Roy Keane is not too keen on him. You know what I mean? And he's saying like, if you want to progress, if you want to progress further, and the type of football we talked about this before, the type of football that Ten Hag wants to play.
Yeah.
In that game, I was watching another podcast, Terry Fleur's podcast, the Football Terrace, and he was saying that Man United gave away the ball from a goal kick 17 times. So every time he kicked that ball, it never went to a Man United player. Yeah. Because for whatever reason, he can't play the ball out from the back. Do you know what I mean? And that is going to be one of your problems. And the thing about it is that's something that you need to solve come the summer, because if you get in the players that you need to get, is he going to be the guy that's going to sort of mess up your plans in terms of how Ten Hag wants to play football? Now, the problem is he wants to stay. Yeah. I think, is it Tom Eaton? Is he looking... Yeah. Is he gone?
It's Tom. I think Tom is staying.
There's a goalkeeper. I think Tom Eaton has gone to Rangers, isn't it? Tom Eaton has got the Rangers. He just signed for Rangers.
Jack Butland is staying, I think. Is it
okay, right.
Yeah, Jack Butland. But this is the thing. They're saying that they can't sell Henderson. I forgot his name then. Now, so Forest won him, but they're saying they can't do that deal until they figure out what's going to go on with De Gea. Yeah, and so he hasn't signed that contract because apparently he's saying the cut is too low. I reckon they've cut him to 200k. So I reckon that they're saying to him, you've got to take 175k pay rise. And I think in any man's bank account, that's a real hit. You know what I mean? He should have got a contract anyway. I think that was an obese contract in the first place under Ollie again. So Ollie giving out these silly contracts. But now, as a manager, I can't play the style of football I need to play, which is playing out from the back. Not always. Sometimes you can go long.
Yeah, listen. Yeah, you got to mix it up. Listen.
Yeah.
If Edison can do it, because he can mix it up, so he can go long, he can go short. The problem with De Gea, he can only play long, and then when he does play long, his distribution ain't that fantastic. No. And that is the major problem. Do you know what I'm sort of saying? This is a big conundrum that you guys need to really solve quickly.
Right, because if you look at his long ball distribution, is banking on the opposition's defenders making a mistake, i.e. with the header or with a chest down or a control, where they get it wrong and the ball is loose and one of Rashford.
But you haven't got anybody up front to hold the ball up, though, Dean. Exactly. That's the problem. You haven't got anybody. So it just kept coming back. Do you know what I'm sort of saying? So you didn't have
just inviting pressure.
And to be honest, it wasn't like I don't know if it was that Man City didn't have a good game or they just didn't come out of second gear.
They actually didn't play because you know what? This is my thing. When that goal went in, I was thinking we could get absolutely hammered here because it was too early, and you know how their heads go when something like that happens. And I thought, if these mans don't just kind of calm it down, because you can see Casemiro just saying, just calm it down, guys. You know what? Just get your heads back in this, because clearly nobody was ready at kickoff. Right. That was blatantly obvious that nobody was ready, including the goalkeeper.
Got caught cold.
So as much as you can say De Gea should have been on his heels, everyone should have been, on their toes. Everyone should have been on their toes, and they weren't. Yeah. Because if you look at Lindelof and Eriksen, don't even get me started on Eriksen. I don't know why he even got. How did he even start?
He was anonymous, mate.
I think that injury done him. That injury took it out of him, because he's come back after that injury and he's offered nothing, and he's still started.
Absolutely. And, can I just talk about one player, mate? That's just nicking a living off you guys, Sancho.
Well, this is the thing, no.
He did not play well in that game, D.
I'm not saying he didn't play well, right? But he tried to do link-ups. And he don't have the personnel to play. The way he plays at Dortmund, he hasn't got the personnel to play that at United. And so I look at it and say...
But no, he's like on the list of one of the players to be sold in the summer. I mean, there's talk about him...
The thing is, this is what I said to people. The season under Ollie, you can't count that season for him. But this season, when Ten Hag let him go away and get his head straight, right? So all them games he missed for us, and you're like, okay, the gaffer was on your side. He said, mental health, right. I'm going to send you to my people, and I'm not rushing you back. And even when he came back, he didn't throw him straight in. He eased him in. So him doing that and him easing you in, and you're still not really delivering, I'm not sure where to go with him now. I'm not saying he was our worst player on the pitch, but he never offered what he needs to offer if he's going to play on that right side instead of Anthony. And so for me, you can't be paying him $350 a week for those performances, Noms.
No,
it's
you
not
can't.
acceptable.
You can't. Yeah,
Same as certain people go after David De Gea on 175. You got to go after Sancho. Sorry, on 375. You got to go after Sancho
375 D.
350.
Oh, 350, whatever it is.
No. Sancho's on 350.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
On 375.
375.
Come on, man. You can't be pulling that wage a week, and I'm not seeing nothing for me to go, yo, these brothers are bad, man. There's nothing that has me say that, no.
You went after this guy, yeah? And to be honest, this guy's not offered nothing. He's offered nothing.
And this is how often we get punked, right? Because if you look at it, when we went after Harry, everyone said that Harry had a good World Cup and was pulling up trees at Leicester. 80 mil. You see what happened? You chase this man down for 2 years. He's coming. Nothing there, mate. And it's like, so you have to question our scouts a little bit, because I think you have to watch players when they're off form as well and see what they contribute when not on form.
Yeah, especially if the team is going through a bad patch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you want to know that there's going to be somebody in that team that's going to take the ball by the horns and say, come on, drag them through. Do you know what I mean? Saka, for me, in our first 2 seasons when we wasn't really, we finished 8th twice and 5th and that, but at least Saka was our man. Do you know what I mean? He was the one that kind of was the one that was Sancho didn't carry Man United. He couldn't carry them. He just waited. You know what I mean?
And that's the difference, Norm, because we look at it like everyone said, Saka dropped off, but Saka was overplayed.
Oh, sorry,
Sancho was never overplayed. Yeah, I heard that earlier. Where did they find the money from, Norm? I can't even comment on that.
What are you going to spend that on? Come on, 300 million a year.
Listen, man, come on, man.
Oh, come on. Listen, man, this is crazy. This they've got nothing better to do with their money. But yeah, sorry, you keep going, Abdi.
Yeah. So I look at the 2 players. So they both play the same position and expected to deliver the same. What Saka delivered until he ran out of gas, and that wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
That wasn't his fault. But Sancho's been protected and not done anything what Saka's done this season. Nowhere near it. So you got to look at that. And I know he was on more money than Saka. Saka's only just signed a new contract now. So I'm saying that if you're only signing a new contract after 3 years of carrying your club, and my man came in on that money, and not 1 season as he carried us, this is my thing, right? If he finished the season with 5 goals and 14 assists or something like that, I'll be like, you know what? I see the contribution there. But I think he's got 3 or 4 goals. I don't know how many assists he's got. It's just not good enough. And the time he spent out of the team,
and the time that he spent out of the team, it wasn't the fact that he was
on that
injured.
Money.
Yeah, it wasn't the fact that he was injured. It was this.
Do
you know what I mean?
And
I'm
not
knocking.
knock it. Yeah, I'm about to say.
Mental health is a very so important thing. So, but
there is a level of convenience there, Norm.
Right.
I feel, and that's not being horrible. I just feel like you wasn't playing well. You needed to get out of the limelight.
Yeah, because he was getting a lot from the United fans.
And I think Ten Hag saw that and just thought, you know what, I can't have this guy crashing and burning on me mentally. I'll get him out of here. And like I say, it's not like he just said, stay away from training. He sent him to his people to look after him.
Yeah.
And he never rushed him back, no. He never rushed him back. You can remember, I think every other press conference, he was asked about Sancho. And he said, when he's ready, he'll be back in the squad. And that was it. He goes, I got nothing else more for you. Oh, yeah, but why? I'm not, nothing. Are you just unprotected? He didn't say unprotecting him, but with his words, he was protecting him. And for me, as a player, when a boss does that, when you come back, you have to say, you know what? I have to. I've got to reward the gaffer because he took the pressure off me, man. He got me out of there when I was getting crucified.
when you think about when he was at Dortmund, I mean, he was killing it there, and you're thinking, right, he's killing it there. He was getting, World Cup, playing for England, getting the caps for England, and then obviously come to Man United, and then his form just completely dropped off,
fell off a cliff,
and because of that, he's missed out on getting a place in there. So you can see the difference between him and Saka. Saka's got this, and unfortunately Sancho has to develop that. And Saka at the time was on about 40 million or what 40 grand or whatever, and my man is raking in 350.
You could also say that he came to United at the wrong time.
Yeah.
I think, say like if he came to United when Ten Hag turned up now, you may have seen a different Sancho. I think he come at the wrong time in the whole Ollie circus, and is like I could imagine.
And the thing is, Ollie didn't play him as much, did he?
No, and that's the thing as well. I think he needs. I think he's a player that needs games to get himself going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And nobody really crucify the performance. Just get going, play 6-7 games, and then suddenly you should have clicked. And he never got that under Ollie. He was just in and out. And so that don't really help him. But now, when the manager protects you that way, you have to come and give him something back, Norm. You have to. And we haven't seen that. So a lot of people are saying that they forgive him for the Ollie mess, but he's got one more season. So if he doesn't produce in this season, they're saying that we have to cut him loose. A bit like Donny van der Beek, the same thing, Norm. Yeah.
Anger Postecoglou has retired from winning silverware by being the new Tottenham manager. We'll go into that. I don't know if Chile's going to be on to defend that statement, but mate, listen, they've got a new manager. We will definitely tackle that.
Yeah,
but
time and all, isn't it?
You know what I mean? Yeah, listen, mate, it's been ongoing for a long time, but I think the fan base is split on him. The fact that he's coming from the Scottish Premier League and stuff like that. So they're saying basically, it's a farmers' league and basically it's not that kind of has that quality. But he does play an attacking brand of football, playing the 4-3-3 system. So that's something that Tottenham want back, because under Mourinho, under Conte. The football was basically dire. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So him coming there, we'll see what happens. Will he make that? But we will tackle that. But I just want to finish off with the Man United Man City game. Now, in that game, there was an incident in that game as well where they felt that Casemiro should have got sent off. Now, again, I don't know if you saw it or heard about it, but then he ended up being awarded a free kick instead of things. So some people say that he should have got sent off, but I didn't know. I didn't see the tackle or what. I don't know if you got the.
Is it what it is, Norm? I think now with Casemiro, it's about reputation now, right? Because your first season you come in, and if you watch him, this is how he tackled at Madrid, and nobody had a problem with the way he tackled, but here. Then referees are blowing that up. So them 2 red cards now, every time he goes in physical, a bit like how Roy Keane used to go in. People say that he's coming over the ball. But sometimes that happens when you dive in like that. Sometimes you do come over the ball. Now, even if you touch the ball, but your trailing leg takes a guy out, everybody wants you gone. And I'm saying, well, it's a competitive sport. And he's looking at it saying, I make these tackles week in, week out for Madrid. Now I'm at United. Every time I make one, it's either a red card or a booking. Yeah. So maybe he has to assess the way he's going to play. As a CDM, you want to see
I hear what you're saying.
It takes away from his game, doesn't it?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And so you're like, well, there's no point in playing him if you think that the way he tackles is no good for. There's actually no point even having him as a CDM, if that makes sense, because the fans are gonna get frustrated every time he gets sent off or gets too many bookings and misses 2 games or a game. Yeah. He missed 9 games or whatever this season through what he felt was good tackles. I mean, the one that was late could have gone either way. He got the red, but the second red, I can't remember who it was against. I'm like, that's a little bit harsh. Even the commentator said that.
Was that against?
I can't remember. Was that?
I know, but obviously one was Crystal Palace. I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember the Palace one. Yeah, and you just think, you just think that he needs to work on tackling another way, which may not suit his game. But it's a CDM. I expect all the CDMs in the league to be putting in tackles like because you remember how Kante was when Kante was at his peak. Kante was putting some bad boy tackles, and but I think now reputation is against Casemiro now, and he could have an awful season next season if he doesn't address his maybe over physical tackling.
Yeah,
because back in the day, when you see like Wimbledon, when Wimbledon managed to tackle, that's what Casemiro reminds me of. But now this league is so soft that now he can't tackle like that anymore. He could ruin someone's career. I don't think he goes on the pitch ever to do that. He's not that kind of guy. I listened to interviews with him. He's just passionate about doing his job. But maybe he can't do his job in this league because the league. If he was in Italy, I don't think he'd have that problem.
Yeah, but it seems like now he's like a marked person now. Every time now he plays, he's like a marked person. A bit like Granit Xhaka. You know what I mean?
Yeah, very similar. Yeah.
To be fair to Granit, I mean this season not one red card.
So he's been very disciplined.
Hats off to him. Yeah, hats off to him.
And that may be the thing where he's going to have to just look at it and say, yeah, maybe I can't go in as hard like that. Because these referees are happy.
Well, let's hope
he must know. Let's hope it doesn't.
Well. Yeah, let's hope it doesn't affect his game, though. Do you know what I mean? And that intensity in the middle of the park. Yeah. But listen, okay, listen. As I said, some people said he should have got sent off. You know, he stayed on the pitch. But then there was another controversial situation, and this was with Jack Grealish. I think when Bissaka headed the ball. Now, Jack wasn't looking at the ball, but by the letter of the law, it's a handball. You know.
He flicked his hand out, Norm. He did.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm trying to say...
And is that instinct, or is that Jack trying to be a bit cute? Because the thing is, the moment he does it, Norm, he looks to the linesman. He knows he's done it. Yeah. And then when it stopped the game, you could see him saying, they got me. Because the moment he goes to the thing, you know he's going to give a penalty for that.
When they interviewed him, he was like, I didn't know nothing about it. You know what I mean? And when you see it, he's kind of jumping, but he wasn't looking at the ball. But they're saying basically his hand was in an unnatural position, and it just literally just flicked the top of his fingers.
He was there trying to direct the choir, man.
Yeah, and from the time the referee has to go over and look at it, 9 out of 10 times, it's going to be a penalty. Bruno takes it, very good penalty.
You know what? Yeah, very good. I'm about to say that.
And the
pressure of that penalty because of all the nonsense afterwards. Like you got to just clear your head. You've actually got a full Wembley and take that. But you know what? It's like you say, on any given day that could have gone either way.
Yeah,
I feel,
But then,
in my view, I thought it was a penalty. But and
then,
some pundits, to be fair, agreed with me. Some didn't, some did. So
yeah.
That's how you know it could have gone either way in any situation.
So they're going half time, 1-1, come out, and then obviously the guy, as you said, he likes to make those TV saves and that. But
the Hollywood
on this
ones,
occasion, he didn't even move, mate. And listen, I think it was from a free kick. The ball comes over Gundogan. I don't think he connected it even properly.
Yeah, there was no real place on it, It bounced twice, Norm.
Yeah, it's gone for a crowd of players. But the position of the game, because they were trying to see if he was unsighted, but he just didn't move his feet. And then when he did, it was past him. Do you know what I mean? But as you said, he wasn't hit with pace.
Yeah, and when a ball bounces 2 or 3 times, you got to save that. If it bounced over his body,
you get it.
But it didn't. It stayed at the level, and I'm like, what are you doing there?
He got his hand to it.
Yeah, he got hand to it. Yeah.
But then when they call his, I don't know. There's a nickname for his hands, but fingers.
He got them giraffe hands, isn't it? His hands just stick. It's like, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah. And then he makes it 2-1 and almost gets an hat-trick, but to be I think Haaland, who was kept quiet, pretty much.
Yeah, we've done a job on Erlen,
But there was a big chance for Haaland. I think the game made the save, and then Gundogan sort of made the follow-up, but he was in an offside position. So he would have ended up getting a hat-trick, and I think that would have been one of the second hat-trick in how many years in a final. Do you know what I mean? Didn't get it, but as I said, Man City did enough defensively. They were good. The new role for what's the defender now? He's gone into that kind of midfield role.
Stones.
John Stones.
Yeah.
You know, he had a fantastic game. Goodwin obviously got man of the match. But all in all, the team, they played within themselves. They didn't have to raise their game. Do you know what I mean?
But if you look at Gundogan, he's been their best player in the second half of the season.
The clutch man. They called him the clutch man.
Yeah, he's been their best player. And he's out of contract in the summer now.
Yeah, and Arsenal are looking at him. I think what I'm hearing, obviously, you know, what I'm hearing is that Man City only want to offer him a year. And Arsenal, apparently, we want to offer him 2 years, but we can't compete with Barcelona. We want to offer him a 3-year deal at 9 million euros or whatever a year.
But
the thing about it, but the problem is the problem is with Barcelona. It's whether they can afford it, because obviously due to FFP and stuff like that. Yeah. So until they get their business side of things sorted out, at the moment it might not be the case. So listen, you know, he might stay at Man City, but if they're only offering him a year's deal, then you know he has to go. He could go to one of them Arab clubs. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? But I think he's still got another 2 or 3 years in him. He's that good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
And
I'm sure you would have him. I'm sure you would have him. I'm sure you would have him.
I think I said to Jason that I'd take them to one. If they think that he's surplus to requirements, then come over, son. We'll look after you. Yeah. Come over. You know what I mean? There's no shame in that. I'm throwing that away because that happens. That happens where there's been players over the years that say, it's time to go over to the other side of the city and apply my trade, because he's got nothing to prove. This season tells me he's got nothing to prove at City. Whatever happens in the Champions League, that particular player's got nothing to prove.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
and that's what I'm saying. So if he does do the treble, first captain, Man City to do that,
right,
and the 3-peat, you know, he could be crowned as one of the greatest captains of Man City's era. And he might look at that and say, you know what, I've done it now. Let me go and try somewhere else, somewhere like hopefully an Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? And see if he can challenge himself again. Do you know what I'm saying? So we'll wait and see, and we'll just watch this space. Because as I said, as a player, only offering a year's deal. Do you know what I mean? He wants 2 years.
It's club captain as well, Norms.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Really I thought, and can you imagine if he does go to Istanbul and bags the winner for them? Surely Man City can turn around and say to him, listen, have the 2 years. Yeah, we're going to grant you with those 2 years because you've done so well for us in the, you know what I mean? He's done it season after season. You know what I mean? Comes up in those clutch moments and basically does
if you're looking in, Norm, there doesn't feel like there's a risk there. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
Just looking in and saying, I don't see why I wouldn't give him, because Pep knows he's got to rotate that squad to do what he's doing all over again next season.
That's right.
To be in it like that.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't, even if you're not going to start him every game, which he doesn't?
No, he doesn't, because Pep rotates his sides. Yeah, so you know what I mean? And nobody in that team, you know, or squad has a problem with that. You know what I mean? Because look where it's got them.
But something that I heard guys talking about on one of the other podcasts, they were talking about this 8 or 7 player rule in a 25 player squad. You've got to have at least 7 or 8 homegrown players as well. Now maybe because I looked at ours the other day. You know, like the squad we put out for the FA Cup, we only had 5 or 6 out of the squad that were homegrown. Everybody else was foreigners, same as City. Like you know what I mean? With them, I think theirs was very similar. With Foden, John Stone, they got a couple Lewis and a few of them guys that they brought in. But now they reckon they're going to really clamping down and say nope.
Increase it.
Yeah. Whoa! They're just saying that every squad you put out has to have at least this. Unless you've got the injuries.
Right.
Yeah,
and is that on a match day? What? Like, on a match day?
Yeah, I think they're trying to flip it because I think so many foreigners will come over because of the money.
Yeah.
That all these kids in the academy.
And I get it, and I understand it to a degree because at the end of the day, you don't want the national team to you know what I mean,
to
suffer from that, because you want these homegrown players to be playing more regularly in there. I mean, if you take the player that they bought from Leeds, he's hardly played for them.
Right?
Exactly. And
I'm surprised someone doesn't go after him this season.
Yeah, and he's in the England squad.
Right. Yeah. Same as Harry. Right. And apparently there's been a conversation that Southgate allegedly has encouraged Harry to move on from Man United. Otherwise,
I think he needs to.
It's going to be hard for me to justify.
What sort of money? I mean, what sort of money are you talking about? Because look,
it won't be more than 30 mil, no.
Well, listen, there's talk.
It won't be more than that.
The new manager for Tottenham, I don't know if it's him that's got the interest, or Tottenham itself, the club, has got an interest in maybe bringing Harry to the club to keep Harry at Spurs.
At the club, bringing Harry to keep Harry. You know,
these are the little things that you're seeing coming out. You know what I mean? And I'm just thinking, here we go, another clickbait stuff. But listen, we move on to this. Harry Kane, should he stick or twist? Real Madrid are starting to deal with the cards. Now, the thing is, does Harry Kane want to stay at Tottenham and break Alan Shearer's record, or does he want to go and win trophies? I know Daniel Levy doesn't want him to really sell him to any clubs in England, or you know what I mean. You know, clubs that you're thinking, mate, if I sell him to there, I'm going to make them better. So he more than likely would sell abroad, sell to Real Madrid. Now, again, I don't know if this figure is true concerning this £200 million fee or valuation that Daniel Levy is put on this man's head. Listen, Harry Kane is going to turn 30 this year. Yeah, but he's got one more seat. He's got one more year left on his, one more year left on his contract. There's no way. He's trying to price him out, but it's just going to happen. Harry Kane needs to make a decision.
If you look at it, he could gamble on. He could say, right, I keep Harry. I got a new manager in. I spend 150, 200 mil, and we scrape into the top four. So I'm going to get that Champions League money. Harry can leave for a free, and we're good. And I think that's what is in his mind. Daniel Levy's already made up his mind that if I make him stay, and we qualify for Champions League, then he can say he's got us in the Champions League, and I give him my blessings to go as a free agent and earn some good money on his big contract.
But listen, they've got this new boss here, and Jay, I can't even pronounce his name. What's his? Pronounce his name.
I don't even know, mate.
Let me not butcher his. Let me not butcher his name. Let me not butcher his name. Now, Postecoglou. That's it. Postecoglou. Angie Postecoglou. Now, there's some of them are saying that he looks like Fat Sam. But listen, I don't know. But look,
that's funny.
But this manager, look, they say that he's a good fit for Tottenham. And with all that said, and with Harry Kane still not knowing whether he wants to stay or go, Harry Kane possibly coming. Harry Maguire possibly linked with the club. Is this enough? Can this manager keep Harry Kane, and not only keep him, has this manager have the credentials to get this Tottenham team into the top four in Champions League? Now, people say, he's only playing in the Scottish Premier League, but he has played in the Champions League. I mean, I think they were up against Real Madrid. He had a pretty good game against them. I'm trying to remember if they beat them or drew against them or something like that. I can't remember when they played at the Ground Parkhead.
That's the thing.
But is he the man to take Tottenham forward? Not only that, can he persuade Harry Kane to stay, or is Harry Kane going to say, you know what, I need to leave this club now and go and win some trophies? Now, as I said, Danny Levy's not going to want to sell to his rivals. Yeah. And he's got to be realistic with the fee that he's looking to sell Harry Kane for. It's all down to Harry Kane now.
But Harry as well, though, like, he's got to show some. If he really wants to go, then he's got to have the minerals to put in the transfer request and say, right, I need out, and not back down. And then you force to sell. I don't think the fans would be mad at him. I don't think Tottenham fans would actually be mad at Harry if he said, "I need to go and win some stuff now. I'm the wrong side of my career just to be here making the numbers." And I suppose Daniel Levy is banking on no European football, no, right? If he gets knocked out of the cups too early, it's 1 game a week. Playing 1 game a week, you should qualify for top 4 with a striker like Harry. So I think he's gambling on right.
But do you think? But what I'm saying though, do you think the manager that they've brought in can get them top 4? He plays. I mean, so I know it's the Scottish Premier League. He does play a nice brand. I've watched a couple of their games, and as I say, he plays 4-3-3, plays with the wing backs and stuff like that. So and he plays attacking, aggressive football.
Yeah, it's more attacking than what they've been playing.
Yeah, sure. And not only that, Pepper's because when he used to manage one of the clubs that City Group owned. A Japanese club, and Pepper's had a couple of conversations with him. When Pep was asked, he said he's a very good manager, and he should do well for Tottenham. So he's kind of got his blessings, Pep blessings. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I hear what you're saying. Is if it's only 1 game a week, but they see, think about Tottenham. Tottenham need to win some kind of trophy. That's the problem. So it doesn't help if they get knocked out the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. There's only 2 trophies they can play for. Exactly. They're not gonna win the Premier League because Man City, But do you think with Harry Kane staying, with the new manager coming in, and it depends on who they get because they need to get rid of a couple of dodgy defenders, and they need to bring in a couple of decent people in the midfield. Do you think with the least amount of games that they have to play that they can make the top 4?
Probably not, no. Because you have to look at it is that Liverpool and Chelsea are not going to be that bad this next season. I just don't see it. And then Newcastle are on the rise. Liverpool is a given. No, Man City is a given. And then there's us and you.
You know
what I'm saying?
And the thing is, we'll come on to Liverpool. Look, Liverpool are not going to be this bad as they were last season. And same as Chelsea. And we know Chelsea are in for more players this season. They're linked with apparently they're linked with Neymar. That true is. Apparently they're fighting with you for Neymar.
Apparently we've allegedly agreed terms with him. If he comes, he's happy with the terms. And I'm like,
how much is Neymar on? How much is Neymar on? About 900 grand a week?
It's got to be on at least 5, isn't he?
At least
5k a week.
Well, Mbappe's on $1 million.
Yeah, so he's got to be on about 500 grand, 600 grand a week. No,
I think it's more. I think it's more.
That's monopoly money,
Remember, they bought him for just under 200 million.
Right.
That's what PSG bought Neymar for. And that was almost 3-4 seasons ago.
It's insanity, Norm.
Right. Yeah.
Because
you know his wages are going to be mad.
Worst case scenario, he's on 700 grand a week.
Right. Right. Now, but seriously, D, you'd be crazy. And I think Ed said it as well. We'd be crazy to go and get this guy. He's a good player. I'm not saying he's a good player, but
he's the luxury of luxury, Norm.
Yeah, and I think
if he don't deliver on that money,
he will get kicked up in the Premier League.
Yeah. You'll see it. You'll see some bad tackles on him. You will.
Yeah.
Especially if you I don't know if you remember the time when Anthony did that. That thing he does where he has the ball, and the next tackle he got wiped out just for doing that in a game. And I said, bro, why would you do that in the game? Leave that for training and when you're warming up and all that. Don't do that in the game. Because I think it was like Lewis Dunk or somebody went straight through him. After that, I went, blow me now, bro. You're going to get your legs broken if you keep that nonsense up. Forget it.
Don't do that. Don't do
it. As nice as it is to see, don't do that in a live game. And I feel the same for Neymar. He'll be the most foul player in the Premier League. If you
Yeah,
come to the Premier League.
100%. 100%. But yeah, I mean, look, so, you know, as I said, with that, should Harry Kane, what should he do? Should he stick or should he twist? And if he does twist, where should he go?
Well, there's only 4 places he can go, really, isn't it? Really.
Okay.
He could jump ship and come across the city to you guys and know that he'll be hated for the rest of his life.
That's it.
Right? Or he persuades his business to go abroad. Because Levy's not going to sell him to us. He's not.
He won't.
And in reality, he's not going to sell him to you. He's going to look at his rivals, that top 8 now, and say, Harry can't go to any of that top 8. Well, you count City out because City got Haaland, so City aren't going to pay him and Haaland. But everyone else, including Liverpool, could do with Harry.
But I think with Liverpool, I think Liverpool are fine.
Yeah, but Liverpool, to be fair,
Liverpool. I think Liverpool are fine. I know you guys definitely need a striker. You can't persist with Weghorst. I think he's going back. You know, at the end of the season.
Apparently, Casemiro said Wenger said in the meeting that he'd love to stay at United, but Casemiro has already volunteered to drop him home to Burnley. He actually said that in an interview. Casemiro said, "Bro, listen, I will take you home myself." so Casemiro don't rate him.
Thanks a lot, Kaz. So listen, and as I said, I don't think Levy will sell him to you guys. Yeah, can you imagine? He goes there, he's banging goals already, but then what he will have to bring to your team.
Yeah. Because you have to remember, Norm, as well. Sherry and Ruud van Nistelrooy. Not Ruud van Nistelrooy, Van Persie. Both players came to United and won the lot.
You know what I mean?
So it's like...
I had to do a guard of honour.
Right. So the London clubs will be aware that, Arsenal gave them Van Persie, we get him Sheringham, and both of these players went up and tore trees up at Old Trafford. So there'll be a reluctance for him to sell. And if he sells to us, it's going to be extortionate norm. It's going to be like 120.
Yeah.
If not more. Well, 120 upwards.
Yeah.
So, but he improves us massively, Norm. I'm not even going to pretend. Kane improves us massively, but I don't want us to spend that sort of money. I think 120, 130 mil on Harry Kane just feels extortionate, Norm. It does.
Yeah, I think...
With 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah. I think what you get, as I said, with this new boss now taking over, you will get a nice brand of football. So I think the Spurs fan... And there's been Spurs fans that have said, like, they would rather see a nice... I've spoken to Spurs fans that said they would rather see a nice brand of football than win trophies. That is legit. Yeah, that they would rather see them play a nice brand of football.
But I think that's how bad the football's been, then, Norm. That's what they're saying.
So, but even
and they're used to not winning trophies. So at least I can say every time I go to a home game
for the last 2-3 seasons, they want to just see some nice football. Now, whether that will get them anywhere in the league or win some sort of trophy, which they're in need of. I mean, right now, West Ham tonight, who's playing Fiorentina, could come away with winning their first cup.
Imagine
Europe in 58 years. Can you imagine that?
I actually think West Ham can do it. No?
I hope they do.
I think they can do it.
My brother was a West Ham supporter, as you would know.
I
hope they do. And obviously, Declan Rice, that could be his last game for them. And we're linked with him. I mean, loads of clubs are linked with him. Bayern Munich, yourselves, Chelsea. So, I think what we're saying basically, and we might as well come on to this about Man United and Arsenal when it comes to, doing our transfer window, why we procrastinate, why do we take so long? You've got Liverpool on the verge, of signing McAllister, and I'm hearing that they got him for pretty much nothing. And I say nothing. I'm hearing 35 to 40, something like that. Well, I heard 45 million. It could be, but whatever it is, I was expecting more than that. I didn't expect it to be that low.
And the reason why I expected more, because I'm hearing that we've been quoted 80 million for Caicedo. So I'm like, okay, from the same Brighton team.
And it's Caicedo, and that's what I'm trying to say.
Because for me, I think maybe Caicedo.
And McAllister won the World Cup. He won the World Cup.
Yeah.
So how does that work? How comes Caicedo is
it's 40 mil cheaper?
Yeah.
You got to look at that. I mean, the thing is, I look at Caicedo, and I say to myself, Caicedo and a striker, and you offload what you offloaded, then you could pick up 2 free agents and one of the relegated players. Because I'd definitely go after James Maddison, even though I hear that Newcastle fancy him as well.
Well, Tillemans is available if you want him.
They reckon Tillemans is going to Villa. Apparently, I saw it on Twitter today. I don't know how true. Do you know what Twitter's like?
Well, saying that, talking about Villa, they also are looking at Harry Maguire as well.
Are they?
Yeah.
Harry Maguire and
Tottenham or Villa. Yeah. And the thing about Harry, what sort of price are you looking at? What do you reckon you'll get for it? I think you said it, 30 million, didn't you?
Yeah, no more than 35. 35 at a push. Even though United will want more.
Yeah.
But he ain't played all season, bro.
Yeah.
So if you wanted more money, you would have to have encouraged Ten Hag to play him more.
Yeah.
To keep his value up.
Yeah.
Like everyone said, he's England international. That doesn't play for his club. I don't care he plays for England. He don't play for his club. So why should I pay more than 50 million?
For me, the problem for me is, why is it that we always take... Let's read this. If Saliba... I thought you were saying... For a moment there, I thought you said Saliba signed a new contract. I'll be jumping there right now.
So,
but listen,
Saka's signed no money.
Saka's signed. He's got 290, so that's all done. With Saliba wants 200. Give it to him. Yeah, he's been our best defender. Give him the money, man. It's simple. I think we'll get it done because PSG is sniffing around him. Do you know what I mean? I think he will get it done. He's happy at the club.
Don't want to go to PSG.
Well, I don't know, because
if he's going for money or money,
it's not that he doesn't want to go to PSG. Because they can afford it. And that's originally where he played in the French league. So to go and play for a club like PSG, that's another feather in his cap.
He could appeal.
I look at it this way. I think if you really want to challenge yourself, the Premier League is where you need to do it. Your first season playing in the Premier League, you've done absolutely fantastic. If it wasn't for that back injury, you never know what could have happened. But as soon as he came out the side, Arsenal kind of just fell apart. You know what I mean? It crumbled. So for me, give him the money, 200,000. Listen, you know what I mean? We got a lot of players that we need to offload. I hear that and get that. You know what I mean? And I'm sure it's the same for you, Big D, with the amount of players that you've got to get shot off. But the problem is that how are we going to go about this? Because for me, we as a club, we're both big clubs, we tend to procrastinate over, especially when it comes to buying players. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? And then if we, I know for Arsenal, if we do get rid of the players, we either buy them out the contract or we're selling them for pittance, which is not good enough. But I feel this season, and it's unfortunate. It's offering Saliba 20k more than they can. Yeah, it's absolutely. You're right. You know.
That's what
what's the name? Because what's the name was on 100,000, and they want to offer him 120.
120. Come
on, man. Saliba's our mainstay player. He's our mainstay player. All right.
And I think like you as well, Norms. You guys gonna have some players. I think we've got 6 or 7 players coming back from loan as well, Norm.
Yeah.
And everyone's forgetting about that. That these players are all going to come back in the summer.
The sort of players that we would probably get good money for, because the unfortunate thing is that looks like Citeh could be out the door, right? So he could probably go to somewhere like Newcastle, possibly Aston Villa.
Right.
But, and Aston Villa got money to spend.
Aston Villa are in the conference.
They're in the Europa. Yeah, they're in the Europa conference.
So
now, for me, Tierney, we paid what when we bought him under Unai Emery. I think we paid around about 25 mil.
Right.
But I think if we could push for about 35, 40, we could get something decent there. Who else is there in terms of players that we need to get shot of? Now, Pepe, we probably ain't going to get much. We'll probably get about 10 million for Pepe. Who else is there that we could get off our books? I mean, there's loads. I mean, Nketiah, that's if he goes. Do you know what I mean? Probably get a little slender 10 million for him.
Yeah.
Granit Xhaka, if he ends up going to Bayer Leverkusen, they're talking around about 15 million euros.
I really I'm really not convinced you should be letting him go. You know.
You know what?
Because of the squad depth,
but the problem, but you see, this is the problem, D. I hear what you're saying, and I absolutely agree with you. But if he stays on the bench. But he's not going to want to stay on the bench. Yeah, we're going to Champions League.
Yeah, but no. Surely you put him in the rotation. This is what Pep does.
Yeah, but you know Arteta, he doesn't do that. If he hasn't done it with Saka, why is he going to do it with Thingy? Granit, listen. If the problem is, we was told that Granit Xhaka is leaving the club. Yeah, we're still waiting. Now we're hearing that before we let him go, we need to make sure we got a replacement for him. And this is where I'm saying this is where it's going to take a long time. Where we're messing about, linked with this player, linked with that player. We're going to be putting in we agreed personal terms, but nothing is done. Do you know what I mean? We haven't said right. We're going to bid this for him, or we're going to do whatever. You know? And then you've got all the other clubs sniffing around him.
Because the truth is, Norm, the personal terms, 9 out of 10 times is probably the easiest thing. Because you sit down with the player and his agent and you say, right, we're looking at this ballpark, as in wages. You know, they do the thing, the image rights and all that. Now, the image rights is a big thing, you know. A lot of the players are always screwing how much from their other endorsements they're going to give back to the club because they're doing endorsements in United kit or Arsenal kit or whatever. So for me, once you sit around the table and agree the personals, all the things that get mashed up is what the two clubs back and forth. The players already said, yeah, let me know when I come for a medical. I'm happy with my 150 a week and
agree the personal terms, all that. Yeah.
And this dragged out 6-7 weeks is the clubs like saying, nah, man, you're not having him for 50 mil.
Yeah. But that happened. You see, that's what I'm saying. Look, the Mudryk saga. Everybody thought he was coming to us. Personal terms agreed. He was twerking. He was doing everything he needed to do. And then next thing,
everything. Yeah, man. Instagram.
Next thing you know, Chelsea just come in and say, right, thank you very much. We're going to pay more. Yeah. Rest is history. Yeah,
and gave him more money as well, as in salary wise.
We both got to be serious when it comes to the Champions League. Sorry, when it comes to the transfer, we've got to be serious in our business. We've got to stop. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We have to stop pretending that the wives and girlfriends don't have a huge influence over these players. When it comes to playing, because they do. Because if my girl is saying, I ain't going to Manchester, bro. It rains too much up there. I'm not going to Manchester. My kids are not going to Manchester for school. We've got good schools in London. You know what I'm saying? Now he's got that headache at home, that headache at work. Nobody wants a headache at home and a headache at work. Nobody.
No.
They said that's what happened with Messi. They reckon his wife wants to go Miami.
Yeah, right. Well, it's a done deal now, isn't it? It's a done deal, mate. Because I think Barcelona were trying to pull out all the stops to get him back to Barcelona. Xavi, wanted him. Now he's going to go and play for Inter Milan.
It was Saudi Arabia. It was Saudi Arabia that was pulling out all the stops.
That's right. Okay.
But the thing is, you see, like he goes to Miami. Okay, he may not be on as much money, but if you've been to South Beach and then you see all the nice houses off the aisles as well. You get one of them gaffs, man. You live in nice. No.
Apparently, he's got one already. You know, apparently he's got a house in Miami already.
I'm saying you live in nice. South Beach is nice. Yeah. You know, it's crazy and it's nice at the same time. So, so she's probably thinking, listen, man, I've been to Miami. I like the lifestyle. I like the shopping. We can find an international school for the.
Is that David Beckham's team?
Yeah, Beckham's team into Miami. Yeah.
All right, he won't have Phil Neville managing them.
No, he
sacked him.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I said to Jason that. I said that Phil Neville got to be kicking himself, man, because he can sell his resume. I managed Lionel Messi. You know that one, even for one season.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah. No, as I said, it's
fair play to it.
When it comes to us and you. You know, I don't know why we do this, why we procrastinate, and why other teams like Liverpool just get the deal done over the line. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? The transfer window doesn't open until things. But these guys have really sat down, done what they need to do.
I don't even get that. How they can do that?
And all the managers, they can pretty talk to them. I mean, I think as long as they're not being tapped up, but I'm sure.
Well, that's what I'm about to say. Is there a level of
clubs have
talked
to them and said, listen, we know you want to go. Yeah,
Yeah.
Listen, what I'm trying to say. For the thing to happen so quick, there must have been some agreement in place with both clubs, because how it goes. You agree personal terms, and then it's whether now what we're going to offer. Yeah, what's the fee that Brighton want from him? So that must have been agreed a long time ago. That's why the man is now about to go and have his medical.
Exactly. Yeah.
They met the release clause. There was a release clause in there, so they're only paying 35 mil, isn't it?
But but there's the same for King Bin J. If we do the deal before the second week of July, we can have it way cheaper. But we stupid enough not to do that deal. Yeah.
45.
We're stupid enough not to do that deal, Jason, and pay.
Do you think you would do it? That's what I'm saying. Do you think you would do it, or do you think you?
So all the talk, I think Eric Ten Hag clearly is pushing, because what I'm hearing is he wants 2 signings, like almost immediately when the window opens.
Yeah.
And they're saying Kim Min-jae, they've already basically agreed the terms with him.
Right. Yeah.
And now it's just meeting that release clause. So it shouldn't even be a negotiation.
Because the price is the price.
Here's your 45,
right.
45 mil.
Yeah. Well, you see, when it comes to Edu and he's negotiating and that, he's good. He's good at doing meeting release clause. But when it comes to actually bargaining and trying to do a deal,
that's our problem.
He's not good.
That's our problem.
Because the Thomas Partey deal, we met. Listen, the last day before, I think it was the last day of the transfer window. All we know is that Thomas Partey is coming to thingy, because we met the release thingy. Because 1 minute he was going here, he was staying, we didn't know what was happening, then Arsenal met. But what I'm trying to say is, why not just do it at the beginning? Why are you doing it when we're about to, when we're about to go into pre-season? Yeah. So he's missed all pre-season.
Exactly what we said about Anthony last season. It was like you knew you wanted him, but you was obsessed with Frankie De Jong, and you just obsessed for the whole season, and then it's like, we have to appease the fans now. Because I said to my brother David, right, I said, if we never lost them first 2 games of the season, they wouldn't have spent the money. When we lost them 2 games of the season, the first 2 games, Jay, that's when they spent the money. You're like, come on, man.
Totally. But apparently, the only one I'm hearing, Norm and D, that was already agreed or in the process of being agreed was Casemiro, because that's why you heard them say when we lost 4-0 to Brentford, Casemiro texted his agent and said to his agent, "Tell them I will sort this out."
Okay, right, fair enough.
Exactly.
Fair enough.
So and then the Anthony thing, you just need to cover. So what was 45 million turned out to be 70-odd million. You're like, bro, you could have got him 6 weeks ago for nearly half the price. Come on, man. We just got to do better, Jay, this season. As if they want to save money, you know what I mean? Because Sajim ain't clearing them debt if he comes through. He's already told us that. He said he'll take out another loan against his company to service the debt. He's still our debt. Because he's not the owner.
I didn't think he was servicing the debt, D. I thought he was taking out the loan to buy the club, to pay the Glazers off. That's the loan that he's putting on his club. Right. And then basically he's just going to keep paying off the loan that we got now.
Glazers Mark II.
And the whole Glazer, I call it Glazeronomics, because these guys want to get that whole pie and leave the debt. In what world is that? That you walk away with the whole pie and then you say, by the way, you got 800 mil that we owe there. 800 million, OJ. Who owes 800 mil in transfers and dodgy dealings? God knows what else they've done there. And
I laughed at Barcelona. I was laughing at Barcelona, saying, when does it get to the point where you think, I need to slow down here? This is too much. Look, United are there. Right. That's what it's telling.
It's like someone needs to have got on the couch with the shrink and confessed all their sins and said, this is what I've done, I've just been signing checks. I've lost my mind here. He says, don't tell anybody, but we've got 800 million in debt from signings and all kind of deals.
Man.
They just, I know. And they reckon that he's still at Old Trafford with a door with no name on it. That's what I'm hearing, that he's still learning one of them corridors somewhere in an office, still pulling some strings. And I'll be like, this dude. But he can't be seen as the face of the team. But apparently he's there with a door that's got no name on it.
Well, listen, I hope we get some decent money for Balogun, because he's had a fantastic season with Reims over there in France on his loan. I think he scored like 21 goals. And I think his agent is basically saying like, if he does come back, is he going to get guaranteed football? Do you know what I mean? And this is the crazy thing, is because he's gone on loan and scored 21 goals. Yeah, Eddie Nketiah went on loan to Leeds, and they dropped him, and that's it. He had to end up coming back off his loan spell. Balogun is a better player. So my thing is this: if you're not going to keep him, sell him. I think you get decent money for him,
and sell him quickly,
and
so you
quickly.
can move on. And this is my concern. This is my concern, Jason. With us, I was counting, and I think I counted 7 players coming back to us from loan, plus the ones that were already in that first team squad that we want to get rid of. You know what I mean? Those bench players. So I'm like, he's got a headache. I mean, obviously, you got the young kid coming back, Ahmad from Sunderland. I'm actually keeping Ahmad, I think, as a squad player.
He's done a great job.
Yeah,
I wondered, right, D, whether they would have loaned him back to Sunderland to see how he played if they'd come up and see how he played in the Premier League.
You know, like even till January, give him a loan till January and see how it goes.
He was phenomenal.
We've got 12 players on loan.
That's too much now, man.
We've got Balogun, Pepe, Pablo Marie, but he's going to end up being sold.
But Pepe's out as well, right?
Yeah, but it's what sort of money? I mean, listen, we paid 72 million for this brother, you know.
Yeah, I know.
72 million, you know. You got Runnison, Alex Runnison.
No, you still can't beat Man United, mate. We spent 80 million for Pogba, let him go for free.
Right.
Cedric Suarez, Maitland-Niles. Yeah, some of these ones I don't even reckon are Arthur Onkonkwo. I think we're going to end up with Marcel Flores, Miguel Aziz. Yeah.
And I think that's my concern that even though Ten Hag knows they're out there, when they all come back, because if you look at it right, Jay, people like Donny, they got to be gone, right? So if you look at, obviously Phil Jones is out of there, Donny has to go, Twanzebe has to go, right?
Yeah.
Martial has
who's
to
the
go.
striker? Martial has to go. Who's the other striker? Elanga.
Elanga has to go. Now, apparently, one of the German teams is looking at Elanga, so hopefully we get over the
Leipzig.
Leipzig. Yeah, but if you look at these players, right, Jay, they're all 10 to 15 million get-outs. Harry's probably the only one that might get you a bit of money. And I said to Norman, I like 35, 40 if we're being cheeky. And that's the truth, 40 million for a player that ain't played all season, but he's an England international.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
that's the selling point, though, because he is starting England international.
Right. So
I tell a lie, we've got more than that. I was looking at the wrong list.
Is it? Oh Lord, no.
I was looking at the wrong list.
But ours is at least 7 or 8, Jay, coming back, plus the ones that were there that we want gone anyway. And they're talking about Martial. They reckon that Martial pulled that injury stunt, so we couldn't sell him because he knows that no one's going to pay him that money. Anywhere he goes in the world, he's not going to pay him the money, and you can't sell an injured player. It's very hard to sell an injured player. So the whole you saw it when Ten Hag was giving a speech at the last game. Man's there rubbing his thigh and screwing up his face. You're like, this brother is not going to play in the FA Cup final. I know he's not. And then when it came out, I went, you see. This brother think he's slick. The last game of the season, you get injured conveniently. And everyone said he's only on 15 minutes. What did he do to get injured?
Apparently he injured himself after the game.
Is it?
Right, when he's running around with his kids. That's lippy, isn't it? It's a joke, isn't it?
So do you think you guys think you? I mean, listen. Do you think you guys think you're going to get a striker this summer? And if you are,
100%.
We have to know.
Who though? Who?
100%.
It ain't going to be Harry Kane because Levy don't want to sell him to you. So who's going to be? You got Osherman. You've got this other striker. This young striker that you're linked with from.
No, hold on.
Holland or something. Holland.
Yeah, Holland. I think that's what we're going to end up getting. Yeah.
I think he plays for Atlanta. Is it Atlanta?
Yeah. How do they pronounce it? Atlanta? Yeah.
No, Atlanta. I think it's Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah, he plays in Serie A.
But this is the thing, right? This is the thing.
In the Atalanta.
Atalanta, that's it.
Oh,
Atalanta, yeah. Atalanta, yeah. Because we actually played them, didn't we, Jay? Did we not play them in Europa? Was it Europa?
Not this season. Definitely, I don't think it was this season. If we did,
because I remember when Flex and them guys, they were over there. They always go to
maybe
European games, you know. Maybe in the group stages. Maybe. I think we played them in the group stages. But
what's his stats like? Quickly, what's his stats like? Because I've got about 7 minutes. What's his stats?
I don't even know, Norm. I don't even know. But I just saw this on. I saw it on Twitter that it's something that Ten Hag is keen on. But you have to remember that they're saying deep down that Ten Hag wants to keep Mason, right? But he said that's been taken out of his hands. He's actually not washed his hands on it. He just said, like, don't ask me about the Mason thing because it's out of my hands. But they reckon deep down he admires him. He admires the way he plays. But he can't just come out against the owners.
He kicks with both feet, innit?
And so I look at that and say, is he gambling on, right, I can get Tony out maybe in January when he's fit? And even then, how many games would he have played in January? If he's, you know what I mean? You know this kid's clever. He don't want to go nowhere. And so what I don't want is the pressure on Rashford, because you saw Rashford just drop off at the end of the season, man. He literally had a purple patch where he banged all them goals in, and then he had the niggle, and he hasn't been right. Like Eriksen hasn't been right since the niggle. I don't know what you thought about Eriksen on Sunday, Jay, but I thought he was washed for me. Absolutely washed. It's like, I think it was Chile that said, he said, no idea, I'm not taking the P. I didn't even know he was on the pitch until he was walking up at half time. And that's how anonymous he was. Like, dude, we need you to get hold of the ball and slow the game down and do something.
And now you're in Champions League, man. It's a different
right. And so, and I think that's why he wants to keep Mason, because he's thinking, we're in Champions League. I've already got a striker that I know can bag, and I could be forced to say, listen, son, they don't really want you here. I got to move you on.
What, you know, the young striker you're talking about that from Atalanta. What sort of fee are you looking at him? Is there a price on his? I
think it's around the 50, around the 50 million euros, 60 million euros, which is not.
What's his name?
Yeah, Holberg. Yeah. So I've seen a lot of tweets in the last few days about him, but you just don't know how serious we are, Norm. And then obviously, and that's why I like what the Sheikh has done. So to say, right, I'm forcing your hand now, Friday, otherwise we're off.
Deadline day, man.
And so now it makes them with the Rain Group, because I actually reckon the Rain Group want to do the deal with the Sheikh, because I think the Rain Group will take a nice commission from that. So they're probably annoyed with the Glazers for acting the fool here, because the commission they're going to get from Sir Jim ain't nowhere near what they're going to get, because once they do that deal with Sir Jim is not going to go through the Rain Group to do the second part of that deal. He's going to use his own people. And so you have to think that the Rain Group are saying, go with the Sheikh, man, because our commission is so much more money with the Sheikh. And you know what? Any of us would run our business like that. We wouldn't be going, yeah, man, Poundland Jim. Now allow him, just like go with the Sheikh and take our commission. So
you're gonna have to move. Interesting. You're gonna have to move.
But I think the deadline by him,
come Friday now.
Thing,
So he's giving him till Friday.
Yeah, then he's walking. I'm like, fair play to him. Yeah, fair play to him. I'll be sad, but fair play to him. He can't. Otherwise, they're punking him now, and he knows it.
Before we go, right. Right. What's the reality? Will Man United get bought by Jim, Radcliffe, or the Sheikhs?
I'm going to sit my head and say,
Are you saying by Friday or
by
just
Friday?
Generally?
Just in general. I'm not even saying Friday. I'm just in general, because I know come Friday, it's going to be another deadline. So, and this is what we do, this procrastinating thing. So, will Man United be bought before the transfer window opens, or be bought during that period?
But Norms, go on. No, go on. No,
I just want to know.
But before the deadlines were allegedly Glazer deadlines. This is the first time that the bidder has said, "This is my deadline. I'm going to offer you 5 point whatever on Friday. If I don't hear from you by end of business on Friday, then we're walking away. Don't call us. Don't nothing. We good."
So my thing to you, before the season starts, will Man United have a new owner?
Yeah, one way or the other. Yeah,
I think so.
It may not be the owner we want, but we will have a new owner.
Right.
But this is my thing. This is what I'm praying for, Jay. I'm praying for the silent four Glazers in the background. I want their money is to get on a plane and go grip up their siblings and say, "Do the freaking deal, grip them up." And even if they beat them up, let's grip them up and listen. You see this money right here, right? We are never getting this again. Sell this club and let's move on. And that's why I want is for the 4 to turn into the 2, because the 2 want to stay, the 4 want out of it. So you need the 4 to just grow up here and say, right, listen. So Jim's give us till Friday. Pick up the phone to Rain and get this thing done. Yeah. Tell Jim thanks, but no thanks.
And for me, Arsenal. Listen, I'm here. Stan Kroenke is going to bought some village or something for 81.5 million or something. He's done some other deal, right? And I'm thinking, all right, you're spending money out in America and doing your thing, man. Right. Listen, bros, let's get moving, yeah. 81 million. That 81 million you just went and gone spent 81.5 million, whatever it is, you just spent. Yeah, we could have got Caicedo for that, yeah. Come on, man.
Right, Norm. That's my point.
Yeah, why is it they're doing their business over in America, but when it comes to England, they're just dragging their feet. You got, as Craig said, you got my man, looking for barbecues. Yeah.
But Norm, you have to look at them and quickly, because you have to go. You have to look at them like as Americans looking at us and saying, England kind of third world with that Premier League team. Because they're behaving like we're third world with the football. So we're saying we're the best league in the world because of our managers and the players coming in. They're saying it's just England. England literally fits into Florida State. One of their states, our country fits into. That's how they're thinking, you know. Yeah. It's just England, man. That's Florida in a little bit. Well, no, it fits into Florida because me and China did the whole mileage across. I mean, like, you pick England up and it drops into Florida State with space around it. And that's how they're looking at it. One state out of their 52, 53, whatever states they got. And that's the mentality, like, it's England, man. It's Florida. We'll buy Florida next week.
All I can say, lads, is like we both better get our fingers out of our pockets. Need to all their fingers out their pockets right now and start moving, because, as I said, time waits for no man. And this season, if we want to catch or make any kind of inroads on Man City, we've got to go out and buy the best. Do you know what I mean? And you don't want to miss out on your targets. Yeah, Man City is Man City. Yeah, you know what I mean. They only need maybe to get 1 or 2 players. They might lose 1 or 2 players, but they've probably got everything ready lined up. And the thing about it, Man City don't put their thing out there. You know, it's just all you just say is, Man City have decided blah blah blah, decide that, and that's it, done. Whereas we hang our dirty washing on the outside, so for everybody to see, and it's everything. Oh, Man United's late with this one. Oh, Arsenal and Man United are tussling over this one. Chelsea, Chelsea have come in there now because Chelsea could just, all right, let me just gazump everybody. You know what I mean? They don't really need the player, but let me just gazump him anyway. Do you know what I mean? No, and that is what it is. This is the problem with Twitter. Like before Twitter, like you'd literally be looking for a top journalist from one of the broadsheets to be saying, just write a little column saying that United are looking at bringing Van Persie in the summer. Yeah. Now, like, you got 10, 20 man, 50 man on Twitter or saying, deal done, trying to be first. They want to be the first. They want to be the first. That's why Fabrizio Romano, when that man goes, here we go. Yeah, you know it's a goal. You know,
David Ornstein
as well.
The guys from the Athletic. The guys from the Athletic now, I really like them.
They're on it.
They seem to be on it.
Yeah, and the what's name guy, Mike Keegan, is it? Mike Keegan?
He seems to be on it. He seems to be on it for the Manchester United takeover.
Yeah.
Especially from the
I saw, because he's quite in it. Apparently,
because it's Daily Mail, isn't
he? He goes on the American tours and all that with them.
Yeah, Daily Mail, yeah.
Because
I've seen it in tweeting a lot.
Yeah,
And Ben Jacobs.
Ben Jacobs,
another one. Another one. Yeah.
So
when the man starts to speak, you know what I mean? Yeah, credible guys. And I think that's the thing. Is just when you start seeing stuff on social media, you don't know who to believe. You know what I mean? It gets you excited. You get the blue ticks and all of that. But at the end of the day, it's such a letdown. Mentally, it messes you up. You know what I mean? And then when you see man like Liverpool, McAllister holding up a shirt, signed, sealed and delivered. Man City signed, sealed and delivered.
Like,
and there's Man United and Arsenal still scratching their heads. Come on, man. We need to sort it out, bro. But listen, people, we have come to the end of the show. Thank you very much for those people that interacted with us. Please hit that like button, subscribe and share if you're new. As I say, next week, we'll see because of transfer window will open. You never know. Next week, we might surprise ourselves, guys. Yeah. We might have our first deal over the line. We'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Or we'll probably find some Brazilian guy from the favelas. Yeah, it's a 15-year-old. Yeah, for the future. I don't want to be seen that. I want to be seen some top class player coming in. Yeah, top class player coming in, and we say yes, we got our big boy now. You know what I mean? So we'll wait and see what happens next week. You know what I mean? We sort of say deep before we go.
Fabrizio, he's talking about the Neymar deal at United, 90% done. They're going to offer him a 3-year deal with a reported fee of 65 mil.
Who?
Fabrizio, he just tweeted it. I don't know when he tweeted it.
Neymar to Man United.
Yeah. They're talking. He goes, Neymar to Man United. Here we go. The deal is 90% done. The only thing left in the deal is to complete the egregious agent fees, which will not be a problem for Man United. Neymar will join the Red Devils on a 3-year deal with a reported fee of 65 mil. And I'm like, what?
Are you sure that's his real account?
You sure that's, yeah.
Oh, listen, you think it's on?
Well, do some investigating, yeah? Because you
you know what?
Do some investigating.
Someone might have cloned him here, you know, for real.
Yeah, I'm doing it now.
Someone's cloned him. That's scandalous. Why are people doing that foolishness?
They do it all the time.
This is what social media does, bro. Yeah? Did you see Jason?
They're killing the gig, you know.
Did you know?
Because I was like, nah, he wouldn't put his neck out like that, surely.
No way.
But surely he's got to report this account.
Neymar's going to stay at PSG, man. He ain't going nowhere, man. Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. He stayed at PSG. Now that Messi's gone, he's the main man again.
Yeah.
But listen, people, please.
Yes, man.
Scandalous.
D, thank you, JP.
Yeah, man. Nice one, bro.
And we'll be back next week. Take care and God bless.
Cheers,
all right, Norms. Nice one, bro.
Bye-bye.